can't get into too much detail, but we might be having our first collab on a big event coming up in the next few months. I know where this guy from the UK goes, holy cow, it's the guy from Space Jam.
Welcome to another episode of the BirDie Golf Club Podcast, and this week I am joined by the wonderful guys from the Marker Locker. Austen and Scott join me, and we have a fantastic discussion that really covers a variety of topics, including the fact of starting a golf brand from scratch, coming up with an idea, the Marker Locker, and how that came to fruition, and how you can apply if maybe you're a business looking to start in the space, or perhaps in any form of business, how you can apply their same approach, their same passion that they bring to it. So can't wait for the chat with Austen and Scott. We get into all sorts of things, their love of golf, the wagers they have between themselves over markers, and of course the Lasters, which is their annual Masters-based golf tournament. So it seems appropriate, talking of Masters, to bring up what's going to happen this week. A little tournament at Augusta National in Georgia this week. And a bit of an anti-climax of a day today. I'm recording on the Monday, and it's pretty dreadful for all the people that would have loved the opportunity, obviously, to go to the Masters, and that's what they've been looking forward to. For this practice day, and the weather just becomes absolutely terrible, and players stopped for the day, which is a real shame really, for everyone that went. But Augusta, full of class like they always are going to reimburse the tickets and give everyone an opportunity to get that same ticket next year in 2026, which is obviously really great. And I'm sure they'll be looking forward to it. But getting into the Masters themselves as a bit of a preview for the week, it's going to be really interesting this year, because I don't think there is as much hype about the Live guys basically rejoining the field again. I think we know what we're going to get, and that's high quality golf. I think a lot of people especially last year, there was that idea that these guys weren't going to be very good at golf anymore, and that turned out to not be true. So it's going to be interesting to see it from that point of view, really. Obviously, the focus is on Rory, as it will continue to be until he stops being one of the best players ever to play the game, which is probably not going to happen, is it? But I think we all just want Rory to get it over the line. We want to see that green jacket on Rory. I've seen the compilations on Instagram of, there's just one thing that guys want, and that's Rory. That's Rory with that green jacket, and I think Celine Dion playing in the background. But anyway, that's what I want. I think that's what the majority of golfers want. I think anyone who knows anything about the game knows how much Rory deserves this. So, yeah. Let's see that happen. But obviously Scotty coming into a bit of form with his charge a couple of weeks ago, and you got other players that are going to be knocking on the door as always. You've obviously got John Rahm, won there 2 years ago. You've got Joaquin Niemann playing very good golf at the moment. Bryson is hitting absolute bombs. At the moment, I did see a rumour about him changing golf ball to a top flight. I don't know if I've been completely fooled by the internet, but keep an eye out for that. Still got Crank in the bag, despite the fact that he's got his own driver on the market right now. I'll just leave that out there. Next week, joining us on the podcast, we do have the founder, the owner of Crank Golf, Lance Reeder, joining us on the podcast, and we have a fantastic chat, so look forward to that. I thought I'd save it until the week after the Masters, just in case Bryson happens to win the Masters using his Crank driver. So I'd play it by ear on that one. But either way, it's an amazing chat, and I hope we look forward to that next week. Schedule that in the diary next Tuesday. maybe Tuesday. It might be Thursday, depending on what happens at the weekend, because I'm going to have a recap of the Masters, which I'm going to be doing on Monday night, ready for Tuesday. I'm going to be doing that with a good friend of mine called James, who loves his golf and is just as hyped as any golfer is about this weekend. Incredibly good golfer as well. I think he's a 2 handicapper at the moment, and he's just got a lovely way about him. So I look forward to talking to James about everything that happens at the Masters next week. I'll bring a clipboard and bullet points, and we'll cover as much as we can. But do you know what? Whoever wins the Masters, however it goes down, I think the weather's going to be okay from it. Let's check. Right now, instead of guessing, let's just check. So, Augusta National Weather Forecast. There we go. Let's have a look. So yeah, lightning and rain today, which obviously isn't ideal. Bit of rain on Friday. Temperature drops a bit, but then so Thursday's good, sunny weather. Friday's going to be interesting. That cut line coming in on Friday with the weather turning a little bit. That should be interesting. Looks like the majority of the rain though is coming during the night on Thursday night. So if anything, could end up being incredibly low scoring if the greens soften up a little bit. But then Saturday and Sunday look pretty good as far as it goes. I do want to see what the weather's doing though. The wind is doing on those days. Can we find out? No, we can't. Anyway, just looks like rain. Looks like it's not going to be particularly high winds, so low scoring. We just want to see some great golf. Whoever wins, we just want to see some amazing golf played at the most special place on earth. I was seeing a thing the other day about the range that they've put in, and how incredible the facility. So this year, you'll be able to watch all the practice days when they actually start happening, live on the range, and you'll be able to have TrackMan data and for every single shot that's hit, even on the range. And that facility is basically used for about 12 days every single year with the different competitions that happen. That's it. It's not used for the rest of that time. So it is just an unbelievable place, really, isn't it? You have in your head that it doesn't exist until the lights get turned on this week. And it pretty much is like that for basically everyone other than the very exclusive membership that are there. The patrons that are coming in this week aren't part of that, you know? So, you know what? I hope you all thoroughly enjoy the Masters. If it's your first time watching the Masters, and I have quite a lot of listeners from America, so obviously some of it's during your work day, probably the majority of it's during your work day, so Thursday and Friday difficult, but then Saturday and Sunday you can settle into it. But over here, it's lovely because it's that 8 o'clock in the evening. It's sort of like as the feature groups start to get into the day, basically. But you're talking sort of from about 2-3 p.m. onwards, everything sort of starts. So it's just ideal. I can't wait. Get me to Sunday night, and please get me there with some kind of storyline. Rory either in the chase or Rory leading. Rory leading, I think, is what most of us want, because it gives him just a far better chance of it. But you know what? Just enjoy it. Get your pimento cheese out. Make sure you've got a nice beer. If you've got Masters logoed cups and everything like that, then just enjoy it. Just love it. It's going to be amazing. For all those of you that are going, that may be listening to this, trying to get ready, getting excited for it. I know Dave Clenk from Handsome Squire, who's going to be on the podcast really soon. We have a fantastic chat. He reached out to me. He's got a ticket. He's going. I wasn't jealous. I promise. Unbelievable for Dave. such a nice guy. He's going to have an amazing time. So just however you're consuming it, consume it. It's one weekend of the year where it's the most special tournament in golf, and it deserves your undivided attention. So make sure you give it. Talking of undivided attention, let's go to our chat with the guys from the Marker Locker. So first of all, which one of you, Austen or Scott, wants to take it away of why you started the Marker Locker? What happened?
The idea, man. Go ahead, Fitz.
There we go.
Man. So, Dave, it happened very organically, right? So, I think that I got very lucky to have one of those light bulb moments, because how it happened was, I was doing the laundry, and as we all have, multiple times, I heard my ball marker rattling around, and I give him a lot of credit because he's been really instrumental and kind of a mentor to us. But shortly before that, I received the voodoo doll as a gift. So when I heard my ball marker rattling around, I called up Scott, I called up Steve, and I said, "Hey guys, I got this idea for something that hangs from your bag, kind of like the voodoo doll, where it stores your ball markers so that you're not always sifting around your bag. You're not throwing them in a pouch. They're unorganized. You're getting clipped with your, divot repair or your tee when you're trying to get your ball markers out. There's got to be something out there." And both of them were like, "I don't hate it." So as soon as they said that, I was like, all right, we might have a valid idea here, because the amount of times, as friends, we've bounced ideas off of each other has been pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
And, for the most part, it gets shut down pretty quick. So as soon as they said, "Hey, that's actually, something that you might have here," we went to a friend that was a friend of a patent attorney. And we ended up going through thousands of records and ultimately found out that there actually wasn't anything out there. So we started on the drawing board, man, and really just started doodling. And we would send pictures back and forth of these pictures and ideas that we had. And at some point, one of us said, "Hey, what about a locker?" Because we wanted something that was nostalgic, that a lot of people could relate to. And for the most part, whether it was growing up in school or sports or, you're a member of a club, the mass majority of people can relate to having a locker. So we ended up putting in the patent request for a design idea and for the utilities that are actually inside the locker with our push mechanism with the poker chips. And just end of last year, we got the official patent.
Oh, congratulations. So, I know that's not easy.
That was kind of our big, a nice way to cap off 2024 for us, was getting the official word that we're no longer pending. We're actually an official patented product. So, yeah, man. So
and just to tack on too, like we are not inventors by any means. No. Like we work in the corporate world. I have an IT and finance background. Fitz has sales background. Steve has sales background. So like, we're just three best friends going about this. And like, all of a sudden we're like, you know what? Let's try this. Right. So like, for everybody out there that's just like, "Oh man, I don't want to execute on this," or "I have an idea," like, anybody can do it. The three amigos here, doodling on paper to finding a design company to getting a patent around a golf accessory. Anybody can do it. It's just it's blood, sweat, and tears as well.
And it's such a guy talk thing that basically what passed it was just, "I don't hate it." So it wasn't, "I love that idea. That's the best idea ever." It was just, "I don't hate it," and that's enough. That's all we need.
It's tough love. It's tough love for Austen. It's not. I mean, we've known each other for 30 years, so I mean, we go way back.
So is that Austen's thing? Is he's the creative? He's the creative one. Yeah. Is that the way it works?
I think I got a little bit more of the creative side sometimes. I would say historically, Steve and Scott have known each other their whole lives. I've known Steve since high school, but I think, from kind of the beginning of our friendships, there was always ideas bouncing back and forth. But I would say that I might be the one that would come with some ideas more often than not. And again, for the most part, it would be just a quick, yeah, dude, that's not going to be it, and in so many words, right? And like I said, man, when they both were like, yeah, I don't hate it, I was like, oh man, we could be onto something.
I've got
And
something here.
fast forward 2 years later, man, and I think to Scott's point, like Dave, we're all family men here, we all have kids, and I think the biggest thing we want to say to the world and people that talk to us is, if you got an idea, just get in the race.
Yeah.
Like the world is filled with good ideas, but people that don't execute, or they don't go anywhere, right? And the biggest thing is, it's okay to fail. We've done it handsomely, right? But at least we're running. We're running. We're off the finish line, or we're off the starting block, and we're in the race, right? And that's the biggest thing that we want to, I guess, relay to people when we're talking to them is, you just got to do it.
I guess further to that as well, worst case, say you guys had struggled with manufacturing, and I'm sure there was challenges along the way or anything like that. You had an idea. Worst case, you will end up with a marker locker on your bag, and you go, works great for us.
Right.
I mean, that's the worst that can happen. Try.
Yeah.
That's, you're right. Yep.
Yeah. So
it's to Fitz's point, we've had so many hurdles that we've had to get over, manufacturing being one. You just don't know what you don't know until you get into this, and you got to just take the hits. You're going to fail. You're not going to know things that you think you know. And 2 years, I can't tell you the amount of learning experience that we've gone through this, that now at the PGA show, or people through social or email are asking us for advice, just to like, hey, you experienced this, what should we do in this circumstance, right? And now we're able to actually answer based on real life scenarios that we've been through.
I saw you guys.
Dave, I'll show you something really. Scott, I'll show you something really cool here, and forgive the clutter and stuff, but I'll show you what's posted here in my office.
Yeah.
There it is. It has to work. It has to work.
And that's kind of been our mantra is, it has to work, so we're doing whatever we can as a team to push it forward, highs and the lows, and you got to take them as it comes.
Yeah. Well, I understand. I mean, you guys obviously had the privilege at the PGA show. I saw you were doing like a seminar sort of type question and answer sort of thing there. How was that for you guys? Because obviously you probably were there, a year before?
Exactly.
With this idea that was growing, but taking its time, and, challenges. And then you're giving, advice to people who are starting up. How was that?
Kind of surreal, to be honest with you. It was a little bit of an out of body, because to your point, just the year prior, it was our first show. It was our first time introducing really the marker locker to the world, and it was really a big jump off for us. And to have the opportunity to go full circle and then talk to those people for them being their first time, or for them being there a couple times, and for them to take the time to really listen to what we had to say, and kind of our short journey was, it was pretty special.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I can only imagine.
Yeah. Looking back and being able to be on that stage, I think for all of us, is, and we were talking about this before we started recording, is to pay it forward, right? Mm-hmm. And to be able, like, this wasn't a paid thing for us. This was, hey, do you guys want to do this? And we would love to be able to talk to any inventor out there, any entrepreneur out there, and give them advice of what we've been through, so they can learn from our mistakes and not go through the same thing, or connect people to where they need to be connected, which came, in abundance after that presentation. So I think for me, it's just being able to be like, yeah, someone helped me, and now we can help somebody else.
Yeah. Passing it on, which is great.
Yeah.
So, how did you find the process? What was the most difficult part of developing the marker locker? So maybe that can be broken down into like your top 3 most difficult, because obviously people might be listening, they might have an idea, They might have that trepidation like you spoke about of, oh, is it good enough idea? What would the three areas maybe be that you think someone should really take their time and try and find the best of which they can, the right people to help them on that course? What would be the three sort of top areas, would you say, for that?
I'll kick it off. I mean,
Yep.
for me, it's definitely doing your due diligence
Mm,
for a design company.
okay.
Yep.
Going out, getting the quotes, understanding what their offerings are, who their manufacturing connections are. Um, you just can't go into it blind. And unfortunately, I'll say we went into it somewhat blind. Like, we did go and get some quotes, but we should have done more of a due diligence. And for that reason, we had a setback. We had to change manufacturers. But before you do anything, that design company that you select needs to be a strategic partner from the get-go. Be invested in your idea, not just a number with them to be like, they're going to give you potentially a poor quality product or anything like that. So I would say that would be number one for sure.
Yeah.
Fitz.
I think to piggyback off of that too, Dave,
Mm,
is try to, and this is a little bit easier said than done, but
mhm,
try to get somebody that you trust. Maybe it's a friend or a family or like a business mentor to bounce it off of too,
mhm,
right? So when you're doing your due diligence and you're kind of going to the design company to get a quote and go through all that, try to find somebody that's maybe in that world or has done that in the past
yeah,
to say, hey, is this a good idea, or not a good idea, but is this a good price? Is this legit what they're telling me, right? Is this something that's good, or not, right? Because unfortunately there's people out there that will take advantage because they know that you're so new in the
yeah,
space. So yeah, I think Scott nailed it. Make sure that you're doing your due diligence. If you can have somebody to bounce it off of, that's
yeah,
imperative. I think the second thing is, before you do anything, make sure that you are protected and that there's not an idea out there.
mhm,
I would say that would be kind of step one, is um, go through a patent attorney and make sure that you're not infringing, and that, hey, this idea is actually like something that's proprietary and we can run with it.
sure,
You know,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
uh, and then from there would be design, and then from there I think it's manufacturing, right? So you're protected, your design and your manufacturing, and then to Scott's point is making sure that those people that you're vetting are genuine strategic partners.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So they're invested in it, I guess, because people are very good at talking as well, right? So maybe you go to somebody, they give you a spiel, and it all sounds good. You guys all get pretty hyped
Yeah.
up about
Yep.
these guys have got it, and the price is good, and this is all great. And that's where your point of bouncing that idea off of someone else, because they're going to probably not be emotionally involved in that as well, right? And they're just going to look at it and go, seems too good to be true, or you seem, because you can quite easily, when you get excited about something, you can
Oh yeah.
ignore
Yep.
something, can't you? Right? You think, oh, there has to be, give and take. That's okay. Sure, they haven't done anything like this before, but they promise they can do it. So
The
It,
other thing I would say too is the marketing. So
mhm,
a lot of companies have come to us to say, we love your product, pay us a retainer and we'll market it and we'll sell it, right?
mhm,
And these retainers for a startup are not small numbers. And we've gone through dozens of companies soliciting to us. And you just need to be careful because they will promise the world and there's no ROI or some type of, hey, if we have this many units, or a profit sharing type of approach. It's only like, hey, you have us on a retainer, we'll try to sell what we can, right? And for all you know, you're never going to make your money back.
yeah,
So that's something else from a learning standpoint of go slow with those types of approaches. More organic guerrilla marketing, social media, that's free.
yeah,
Social media is free
yeah,
other than running ads. A lot of our growth has not come from acquiring or hiring any kind of marketing firms. It's literally, everything grassroots, reaching out to people, making those connections. And then to the manufacturing side of that, a lot of these companies have their manufacturers, and like, so talk, hey, where are you getting your, product manufactured? Do you have a connection that I could talk to? Right. That way, you're not getting ripped off. That way, it's already in the community. So that's another thing that I would say is reach out to these other brands and ask where they're getting it made, how much does it cost? Is this price per unit crazy, of what are the molds aligned to what, you paid for? So things like that I would say, I think we've hit on the top three.
Yeah, and I think you guys do an amazing job, and it's something I've noticed happening more and more, which is definitely due to social media, is that you guys are the face of the company, and you can tell that you believe in the product, and your social medias are all fun. They make people want to be part of like the club. You want to be part of the guys with the marker locker on your bag, and I think some people get wary of making their sort of face associated with their brand because they think they have to detach themselves from it in some way for it to be professional or whatever it may be. But I've always been of the opinion that people sell companies. People are the reason that you go to that person and buy it because you have that connection. They might follow you guys, and they see Austen out on the course, see Scott out on the course, see Steve out on the course, whoever it may be, and they're like, yeah, I want to do that as well. And I think that's a huge part that only social media has brought in, right, in the last sort of 10 years.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we go, and I'm not saying we're celebrities by any means. We're nowhere close, but people do recognize us because we put our faces out there because we believe in our product and we have fun. I mean, we're three dads, like we're not here to be, these stuck up co-founders and hiding behind, our computer screens. No, like we're out there, we're trying to do everything we can to not only build our brand, but put our face on our brand so people can get behind us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's funny you say that, Dave, because we got very fortunate because our Steve's wife Stella does our social media, and she's been absolutely incredible and instrumental in building us from where we were to where we are now with our presence. And she also does the Marker Mamas, which is her and my wife. And last year at the show, they were walking around, and one of the guys that we had been talking to was like, "Oh, it's the Marker Mamas," and and it's funny because my wife often will say that like that was for her, like the jump off to her to get really involved in golf, and now she's like,
oh wow.
She wants to go whenever we can, and before we got into this, my wife was more like, hey, golf is your thing, have fun on the weekends. And now she's like, if I'm going out to play and she's not getting the invite, she's upset.
Well, that is like a very happy sort of almost accident that happened through it, which is amazing. That's everyone's dream to be able to, I think, just be able to play golf together on a court. I've tried desperately with my wife to get her into golf, but I haven't found that reason yet that she would really enjoy. She was surprised. I think she thought a golf course was a bit different to what it's actually like. She came out with me in a buggy when I was playing, and she was like driving the buggy around. She was loving that, and she was just like, "It's really beautiful, isn't it?"
Beautiful, yeah.
I'm like, yeah, and like it's like a park that you play golf in. It's kept pristine. You got wildlife. She just completely. I think she thought I went and played like in some like concrete version of golf or something. I don't know, but it's So I'm hoping eventually.
Like dark and just eerie, right? And you're like, nah, it's beautiful out here.
yeah. It's actually really lovely, which is.
I mean, just watching Torrey Pines last week at the tournament, I mean, it's incredible. I mean, just the views and just being able to play in some of those courses. They don't have to play. They can just ride around and they'll be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
I was talking to the founder of a company called Low Chaser Golf, Mihal Halpin, or Haplin, and he grew up in playing Ballybunion in Ireland.
Wow.
And that was his childhood, playing that course. Unbelievable, unbelievable. unbelievable golf course. So it's some of the most beautiful places in the world are golf courses, which is a very happy sort of part of the game, isn't it? At the end of the day, which is amazing.
I feel like I forget who I was talking to, but the golf is booming right now. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm talking like it's the demographics, the age, the hype, the TGL coming in, making it more modern for, the millennials and everything. I mean, it is booming more than ever right now. Which is, maybe it was after COVID or whatever happened, but it's never been more, I think, like to your wife or Austin's wife, or even female golfers, junior golfers. I mean, it is hyped. It is booming. It's cool, right?
Yeah.
It used to not be cool, and it's really becoming a very cool sport.
Yeah, it's sort of. I think COVID was interesting because it's COVID. The numbers went up, but I felt like it was almost because that was all that was available.
Right.
And it was sort of like almost a slight false representation because then they dropped a bit afterwards, but it just seems to have captured people's imagination. I think one, it got in the news a lot more. I mean, obviously with Live and everything that happened there, the money that got involved, I guess, captured people's imagination a bit. It seems a bit inflated and a bit crazy. I think, that's another discussion, isn't it? I mean, is that sustainable? But it did just seem to, and your likes of Bryson going sort of like beyond, the
And that's
reach.
the social media aspect that I think is
Exactly.
definitely adding, right? You have all the social media influencers out there that are, the good, the breezies,
Yeah.
right? That are out there. And then you also have all these new lifestyle brands too.
Yeah.
That are apparel, lifestyle, people can relate, and they want to wear it, they want to rep it, and they look good. You look good, you play good, right? So
Yeah.
it's evolving, and I think it's a perfect time for us to be in the market right now because that's where it's going.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that accessories as well, like people are actually paying way more attention to their accessories on their golf bag as well because of that lifestyle sort of like
Exactly.
they want to look good out there essentially.
Yeah.
And I remember when we first had an introduction call, we spoke about the fact that I had literally the day before, before I'd seen you guys on Instagram, I had trying to desperately find my marker in my ball marker in my bag, and I'm rummaging around. I lost it. I think I'd literally just bought it that morning.
I think you did. Yeah, you were telling us.
Yeah, and I lost it, and it's like, oh great, why did I bother? That was like what I was thinking in my head, and I just thought, I mean, how many markers have I lost over the year? And then literally that very much, I saw the marker locker. I mean, my phone was probably listening to my thoughts.
Oh,
And
we put some cookies on your phone.
Yeah, that's that marketing that you guys are talking about. and I'll pop some marker locker and I look at it and I go, well, I mean, one is what I love about it is it doesn't change the game, right? It's not something that you need to, and I mean that in the best way.
It's not right.
It does change the game in terms of accessories, but it doesn't change the game in the sense of I don't play golf any different because I have a marker locker, and they're always the best ideas, right? I think that's why people have struggled with the change to electric cars, because it's a change in their schedule and how it functions. Oh, I've got to plug it in at home. I don't go to a petrol station and fill up. Like, it's all different, and that's what people adapt and change. The marker locker doesn't do that. It just gives you a stylish, easy place to keep your markers, which everyone needs, and
everybody needs, everybody collects, everybody has them, and like it is the best thing to go into that. And this is a little spiel, but it's true. Like when you start, you open it up. Fitz and I, we always actually bet for him too. So I mean, that's a whole nother aspect of I've taken like 4 off him, and then they're in my locker now. So
and he has to see them every time.
Yeah, and he has to see him every time I open them up. So it's a big hit to his ego for that. But to me, it's just like you open it up, you pick what you want, and then when you're done with the golf round, right, you put your gloves where you put your gloves, right? The voodoo holder, the voodoo tee holder, I put all my tees back there and my divot repair back on it, and then you put your marker back where it needs to go. So like you're not just throwing everything into that black abyss like a pouch. It's solving a problem. It's super easy. It's super sleek. It's fun. And then there's a betting aspect to it that I love, that Fitz and I, every single time now we'll bet those markers. So it's adding, and then the customization side of this, that's where things are really booming, because to your point, you have it on your bag, you can private label these things, right? Or you got it at a PGA Tour event, a live event. We did a custom drop, we did a collab, right, with another company. So it adds that talking statement for sure for anybody seeing, hey, what's that on your bag? Oh wow, where'd you get it? What's in it?
Yeah, absolutely. And do you want to talk more about the custom drops that you guys have done as well? Because I know you collaborated. I forgot which brand it was that you collaborated with now. Which one was it? For the
Matchstick.
That's it,
Matchstick.
Matchstick, and that was really cool with the collaboration with them. But also, you've done a waste management drop, which we'd spoken about on the previous podcast. And how did that go?
It went great. Yeah, we ended up doing a limited drop of 25 lockers, and we ended up selling out in about 11 hours.
That's not bad, is it?
Yeah, so
That's pretty good.
it was great. Then we've been very fortunate to do some one of ones for some athletes, and we've done some other custom ones for some companies. We've done some for tournaments and pro shops, and then we can't get into too much detail, but we might be having our first collab on a big event coming up in the next few months.
Well, that
And
is a very sort of teasing question, teasing sort of clue there. There's quite a few events coming up in the next few months, Austen. So
yeah, yep. It would be our first tournament event that we're like actually partnering with to do some custom ones and some custom ball markers. So
so good.
yeah, and we talked about this kind of before we got on, Dave. We really want to focus on developing those partnerships, with
Yeah.
with the tour and the tours, if you will, right? And doing those limited custom drops, because again, we know that people love our logo, but because the locker is very much of a swag on your bag and something that can be customized, they want to see those tournaments that they, go to. They want to see, their brand or their company or, their private label. So, we really want to, this year get into the space where we're doing more limited batch quantity runs, because we know that that's really what people ultimately want to see at the end of the day.
Yeah, because your branding is, it's distinctive. It's, I've got one right here. I mean, it's distinctive and it's unmistakable. But there's also, it is a blank canvas, isn't it?
Yeah,
Really, I mean, enabling it to be, whether you decide to customize it yourself once you get it. If you've got some stickers you want to put on there or
yeah,
whatever it may be. If you're good at the whole sort of, I don't know, people are good now at 3D printing and all this stuff that they do with things. But equally, like you said, it sets itself up perfectly for collaborations
Yeah.
with tournaments, and you can see it, and that's the great part about it. You can see it being in the in the tent at a tournament
yeah,
with the logo
Yeah,
on.
I mean, it goes back to the design thing, but when you open it up, like it's the little things. Like you can see we embossed in the back of it our logo, right? So we
Yeah,
still put our name on it, right? But we also knew that this was, like you said, a blank canvas. At the PGA show, which was really cool, is we gave one to Eastside Golf when we did a custom one for them, and they left it on the table. They loved it, and they left it on their table the entire time. And we're not trying to take their limelight, right? We want to have Eastside on there on the locker. So because that's what people, no matter what your brand, who you ambassador as a brand that you love, you can have that on the locker.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah, well, that's amazing. And we got to get into golf. Talking golf podcasts. What do you? I normally ask guests. Sometimes I forget, but it's in my mind now. What do you guys play off of? That's what. I mean, that's the question I have to ask. What's your handicap?
oh boy. Well, Scott, Scott's a stick. I'm gonna just tell you that right now.
Yeah.
I play off of Dave. Mine I think right now in Gien is a 7.2 or something like that.
Okay. Yes. Really good standard of golf. Yeah. That's great. And Scott, come on then.
Yeah, I'm a 3-2. So I mean, I'm not a scratch by any means. I mean, I can go out and shoot mid 80s. I can go out and shoot low 70s. So it's all my mental headspace. It's not like we're going out there and hacking. I mean, we're good players, and it makes it that much more fun. And we actually just played, and I'm going to rub this in Fitz's face. It was I was one up one up through 16. Okay. Par 3, 17. I'm probably 15 feet for birdie. He pulled it left. He chipped it on. He's like 25 feet for par. So he had to make the par, and I had to make the birdie, and then I would have closed him out. Anyways, I missed my birdie. He makes his 25-footer. So we're going in. I'm still one up going into 18. It's a par 5. I pull mine left. He puts it down the fairway. I have to chip out. He puts his down. He's 80 yards out for his third shot. Anyways, fast forward. I'm going for birdie. I'm about 70 yards out. So my fourth shot, okay, he puts it on for his birdie putt, probably 15 feet. And I hole it on him 80 yards out for birdie. And this was just a couple weeks ago. And I'm celebrating, and he thinks he's at least going to push. And no, he didn't push. He lost.
Just so everyone knows, Austen, during that story, Austin's camera went off. He muted himself. Like
Let me tell you, man. I try to block it out, Dave. It was so dirty, man. It was. I'm sitting here thinking that I'm absolutely going to, like, it's going to be a push, right? So I'm not going to lose the ball marker. We're going to be good. And just because to Scott's point, I just had an absolute up and down on the hole before, right? Yeah. And it was just an unreal putt. And then he tees it off on the last hole, duck hooks it left, gets lucky. I strike one down the middle, and we're basically sitting in the same spot. Yeah. And I go first. I'm like 3 yards behind him. I hit it. It goes on the top back left of the green, and he knows that I'm most likely going to make it. And he holds it, hits it perfectly, and ends up making the birdie right in my face. And it was dirty, man.
You can see it just still really hurts.
I'm reeling.
And what did you lose? What was the marker?
He lost Gary. He lost the SpongeBob.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
no.
Yeah.
Did you decide that before the round, or is that after? So you knew Gary was on the line as well.
Yep.
Oh yeah. You know who's on the line before. So the deal we do is if it's in the locker, it's in play.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to lose a marker, don't bring it.
Sure. You don't bring it, right? So we from hole 1, we'll go into each other's locker and say, hey, I want this one. So it's agreed upon. And then so the whole time what markers in on wrist.
And
the worst is giving it at the end. That's the hardest part. Taking it out and just giving it to the other person. It's terrible.
Do you make them do it on like literally as you walk off the 18th green, get to your bags? Is it an immediate transfer, or is it over a beer afterwards? What's the
it's an immediate transfer.
It's an immediate transfer. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're putting back your marker in the lockers. The next thing you know, you gotta dish it out.
Yeah, there's no getting away from it, Dave. You can't hide from it.
That must have really hurt, and that's saying something, because you've literally got the Medina flag behind you, Austen, as well. So that probably, that you know pain with that. So was that worse than Medina, or was that better? Which was more painful, the loss at Medina or?
Well, I'll tell you what. So that was really rough, but that was a gift actually from Steve. He was there at Medina, and I'll tell you a quick funny story, man, because this is just unreal. Steve was there playing with partying with the international team, right? Mm-hmm. And or the international people or whatever, so they're talking a lot of crap. Like the Ryder Cup is I went with Steve not to Medina, but we went to the Slaughter on the Water at Whistling Straits. Mm-hmm. So we made up for it, right? But he was at Medina, and he said that they were on this hole, and there was this players bridge. and Jordan was there, and he was walking across, and he said, out of nowhere, this guy from the UK goes, "Holy cow, it's the guy from Space Jam." And he said the entire crowd erupted, right? Not the greatest basketball player of all time, but the guy from Space Jam. And he said Jordan was a good, good sport. He turned around and like gave the guy a thumbs up. But the guy just out of nowhere was like, "Hey, it's the guy from Space Jam." And you're like, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right for the European audience. I love that. I like that because you clearly, I mean, you've known each other for a long time. What would you see would be the most memorable golfing experience you guys have shared in your time together?
Shared together or just individual?
We can go
share
together first, and then let's go individual afterwards. I want to cover both bases.
Man. For me, Dave, the together's easy. So every year we do a tournament for the Masters, and we call it the Lasters.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And so every year for the Masters, and this is our year 13? 15?
Yeah.
So every year, Dave, we go and we play 4 rounds, same course. We do a Stableford style setup. We play in the morning. We go back to a house, watch the Masters, rinse and repeat. And then at the end of the tournament, we crown a winner with a green jacket. We all have our names embroidered in the jacket. And then we have this like ceramic monkey that's a trophy, right? That my late father-in-law ended up getting from like a flea market randomly one time, right? So we do that every year, and we average about 15 guys, but we started with myself, Steve, Scott's dad, and my stepdad. Was the original kind of cast, if you will. And so we grew it from that to what it is now. So every year, that's my favorite all around golf experience with the 3 of us, because it's something that we just get so amped up about.
Yeah.
There's so much smack talking. Every year one of us is like, "Oh, it's going to come back to, our house." And so like for me, that's my favorite together, because it's something we get to share every year, without a doubt. So
that sounds amazing.
I would echo that. I mean, I think, and Fitz and Steve, I think, are going to be able to do it this year. I've been blessed to be able to walk Pine Valley and play Pine Valley. Wow. So, being the number 1 course in the world, it's you can't even explain it in words. You talk about like being outside and being able to be on a ground like that. It's just, you can't explain it, like I said. And then Fitz and Steve hopefully are going to be able to get out through a connection this year to be able to play it as well. So it's a bucket list, I know, for many, many people. But the way I explain it is, if you have every signature hole, right, that you've ever played, Pine Valley is literally a signature hole for 18 holes.
Yeah.
That's how amazing that course is.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Dave, that will be my individual one this year. But I would say leading up to that is golf in Ireland. I went to Ireland many years ago with my wife, my mother, and my stepdad. And it's arguably my favorite place I've ever traveled in the world. But playing golf, in the birthplace, if you will, or close to the birthplace, I guess, Scotland, but was incredible experience. So
it's different over here as well, right? Golf over here, it's just, I was talking to Martin Maritz, who's an ex-tour pro, and he played a lot on like what is now the DP World Tour, and he just said like it's just such a difference coming over and playing in the UK. The ball flight, how creative you have to be, especially on links courses, and then going to Parkland and everything being a little bit more, wet or whatever it may be, lots of mud balls. It's just a totally different game. And equally, and then playing in America is totally different as well, because you have to deal with the grass being completely different, obviously, chipping being so much harder on like Bermuda and stuff like that. So I haven't played in America. I hopefully will at some point. I reckon it'll probably be when my son's old enough to do it as well, with me. So
Isn't
that'll be
isn't
great.
that the best? Like to me, that's the best part of the game, man. It's just the creativity that you like.
Yeah.
Everybody hits shots differently,
Yeah.
or they see it differently, right? Like bump and runs, flops, right? Short sighted. You could hit
Mhm.
a hybrid out of the rough, get a putter out of the rough, right? Like everybody has their own game, and it's just that's what's so cool. It is just you can just be so creative out there and see it the way you want to hit it, and it's always different every single round, right?
Yeah, you saw Justin Rose, didn't you? The last, where was it?
He was just playing with the team on TGL,
He
right?
was, yeah, but where was it? He hit the little hybrid, or he hit a driver or a fairway wood or something just off the green and hold it.
There you go.
Yeah.
I forgot which tournament that was now, but yeah, you'd see that shot and you'd think, oh, they're getting a 60-degree out every day of the week, and they're just chipping it to 3 foot or whatever. And he's like, no, I'm just gonna bump and run a hybrid fairway wood and give that a go. It's just such a creative sport, such a creative outlet, isn't it, for like
Yeah.
Yeah.
everything you want to. And sometimes it can be incredibly frustrating. I mean, over here it's been a dreadful winter. Just so much rain, so much sort of dark grey clouds, and I can't wait for it to clear up. Last few days have been better, so hopefully we can start getting out there again. Because it's not much fun when you're playing on temporary greens and temporary tee
No.
boxes, and that's not easy.
We're
Um,
super fortunate being in Florida because we're year round.
yeah,
But U.S. has been cold north, and I
I
mean
heard.
yeah, it's been brutal, and so they just go to the indoor simulators,
Yeah,
which they're booming too right now. Those
yeah, massive.
facilities.
We've had loads pop up in the last sort of, I reckon, the last few years. There's been like three,
Same here, man.
four
They've
pop up in
exploded.
30 miles. I mean, it's great, and they're doing so well from it as well. And then TGL comes out of nowhere almost, basically,
Yeah.
and they get a boost from that because over here that's on like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night sometimes. So they're getting customers in playing golf, watching golf on the telly,
Watching that, yeah.
playing the same thing they are. It's just a great way of practicing and just basically not losing, what tiny amount of skill that we may have had before we do it. Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you mentioned these courses. Literally my favorite golfing memory was a little course in Portugal that I played. It's the only time I played abroad, and it was in Portugal, and it was with my dad, and we played a little course called Valdemio golf course. And we didn't have our clubs. We hired clubs. We walked to it, and it ended up being. We thought it said 20. We thought it said 10 minutes, and it was actually something like 10 miles or something crazy.
You walk 10 miles to
It
to
was
get to the
something
course.
ridiculous amount of. Literally, we were walking for such a long time with
That's
these like.
dedication, man.
Yeah, and it was like we got halfway and we're like, look, do we turn around or
You
do we
can't turn
just
around.
carry on?
Nope.
We just carried on. We just carried on. We just thought it's one long road. We'll get there eventually. And we got there and we played. And my dad didn't start playing golf until later on in life, so he had a very unique golf swing, everything like that. But he was so nervous off the first tee because he wasn't used to people. The golf course, our local golf course, was pretty empty all the time. No one really stood behind you when you were taking a shot, and he had like club members, Portuguese club members standing behind him, and he striped it off the first, and I'd never seen him happier than that. Absolutely loved it, and we had a great time. It was a beautiful golf
That's
course,
awesome, man.
and it was amazing memories. My dad passed away 6 years ago, so I now really treasure that memory. And could I tell you much about the holes that were on that golf course? Probably,
Yeah.
not really. I remember there was some water at some point, but that's what golf does. Golf creates memories with loved ones, I think, and you
Yep.
can,
It does.
and that can be in different forms, right? That can literally be like a family member, or it can be a friend that you've grown and playing golf together such a long time that it's just almost a golfing relationship in many ways, and that's what creates the special memories, isn't it? That's the best way I can describe golf.
You're
It
it's it's so like it hits me because I just lost my stepmom.
Sorry, Scott.
And I was with my dad this weekend, and all I want to do is make sure I'm there for him. And he wants to play golf because he's a big golfer. And being there 4 hours with somebody, we don't care about the game. We're there with each other, right? And encouraging each other. Great shot. What would you do here, right? Just complete distraction to both of us. He lost his wife. I lost my stepmom, and it's what golf does. And I think maybe that's also something that people are starting to see is it's not just 4 hours of hitting a ball. It's 4 hours of
Quality
camaraderie,
time.
4 hours of laughing, like disconnecting from the world and being out there vibing with the people you love.
Absolutely. I mean, I used to play a lot of football with my friends before we all started sort of giving up playing football because it was soccer in America. But like, your body starts to give out and you're playing football every week, and we didn't really talk when we played football. It was just you shout at each other more than you talk basically most of the time. And the difference in everyone's friendships now that we play golf, your friendships get way better because you still see each other sometimes at your worst, you know what I mean, when you're frustrated or whatever it may be, but generally you just look at each other and go, this isn't bad, is it, what we're doing here? We've taken out, and that's why I like the time that golf takes as well. And there's a lot of talk at the moment, isn't there, about pace of play and trying to speed up the game. I've never seen it as an issue. I don't know about you guys. Have you ever seen it as a big issue?
The only issue is if it's like a 6 hour round, right? Like if you're stuck behind somebody that doesn't sport etiquette and like, but no, I mean,
I think for the mass majority of the time that you're playing, it's a mute point.
Yeah. If anything, you want it longer.
Right. I mean, if you're at a beautiful golf course and you're having a good time, like, and you haven't got anything to get to or whatever it may be, then who cares? Who cares?
Yeah. And I think, golf is therapy. And I think that's really, I think the sign of that is, for us that love the game so much, if you don't get out a certain amount of time, you're right? Yeah. You're starting to get antsy, right? Mm-hmm. You're like, my blood pressure is spiked, right? You're like, I need to get out, right? And I think that like that's the indicator that golf is really much more than just a sport. It's
an outlet.
It's an outlet.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it's such a healthy one, when it's done it's done right. And I'd say
when it's done right.
Yeah. If you're going out there and are more annoyed at the end of a round, then you need to find some new playing partners. That would be my big advice to anyone listening. If they're not enjoying it, it's writing to all my friends, leave me now, and don't, like, actually you were ruining the golf for us. That would be a real issue. So if that's the case, I hope they don't do that. But
that's a hard conversation to have with a good buddy, right? You don't want to be that guy that, one, has that conversation, and two, the guy that's receiving that conversation, right?
Yeah. I might regret actually saying this now.
And let me tell you, David, somebody that's been on that, have the receiving end of that conversation, sometimes it's not good, man. You got to get into a good headspace.
Dave, this is until I would probably say the last year, maybe the marker locker, really did something for Fitz, but he used to get into this like headspace of like, he didn't talk to anybody out on the golf course. He was so serious. He took himself so seriously. And Steve and I would always look at each other like, Fitz, just have fun out here. And then we would start making fun of him. That's what we do. We bring him all the way down. And we're like, Fitz, why are you taking this so seriously? And it wasn't always a pleasure to play with him. I got to be honest. It was not.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I didn't realize I'd opened up this sort of can of worms.
No. Yeah, it happened.
But then all of a sudden he switched and like he laughs at himself. We hit bad shots. Like we're out there just no matter what. Like, and maybe it's because we're dads, we're older. We finally hit that point in our life where like you can't. We're blessed. Like we're out playing 4 hours of golf.
Yeah.
But it was just so funny because you see some of those people that just take it so seriously, and you're just like, come on, like. Yeah. Count the blessings you have. You're out here, just enjoy it. So we don't come into groups or individuals. They have to fit into our personality and our way we play golf, or they're going to bring us down, and we just don't want any part of it.
Yeah, and I often find that it's not your generally you're like better golfers that tend to be not much fun out on the course. I find it's the ones that generally are a bit of sort of hackers out there seem to think that something is going to dramatically change in their game from 1 second to another, and they're going to suddenly be like Rory out there, and it's like,
Right.
no, I
Yeah.
mean, you know, you don't put any time into it. You turn up, you don't hit any balls, and you come out and expect to be better. Like it's not going to happen. You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's it right there, Dave. Right? It's always those guys that never go to the range, never
mhm,
chip and putt, never put any time.
mhm,
And I remember when I got down to my lowest, which was right around a 4,
mhm,
and I was playing multiple times a week. I was going to the range 3 or 4 times a week. I have a putting green and a chipping green in my backyard. I
nice.
was out there every day,
Mm,
right? And that was literally to shave maybe 4 or 5 strokes off of my game, you know? And that and I don't think a lot of people realize that if you really want to be what you would consider a single digit scratch golfer, it, it's not a weekend golfer, man. You're not just
mhm,
going out there on a Sunday and firing darts.
yeah.
Like the game of golf comes with consistency, and it's how do you navigate those bad shots, right? If you will, every round, and that only comes with putting in the time in the practice. So like these people that think that they're going to go out there and hit these incredible rounds is just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just not, you know, surprisingly, without practice, it's not going to change. You know, that's sort of it seems shocking to some people, but
Yeah.
it is true. My big target, so I'm a 12.8 at the moment, and my big target is just get down to single digits this year. Um,
Have
I
you been
know
in single digits
I haven't
before?
before. I haven't
No.
before. So basically what my golfing journey and is that I played when I was younger. I grew up literally like a stone's throw away from like a local golf course with a nice 9-hole course as well, like a par 3 course, which over here is actually quite rare. They're not normally there's barely any of them around anymore.
We
Um,
love par 3 courses. Like
it's it
there's so
seems to
much
be
fun.
big, right? As well in America at the moment. A lot like night golf, par 3
Yep.
courses is
Yep.
every city's got one from what I'm hearing, and that's
Yep.
not happening here at the moment.
Yeah, my folks actually live in a community that has a championship or a standard course and then a par 3 course.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
So we do a lot of our content and play out there all the time because it's a short little 9 track. You can get out there, do the rotation a couple times. It's perfect. Like the longest hole I think is 170 yards, maybe.
Okay, yeah. And that's exactly what I grew up with. Basically, I don't know whether it's a land issue over here because obviously we're limited on space, so that might be it. But I also think what happened over here is foot golf. I don't know if you guys
Oh
had a
yeah,
lot of
Oh,
that.
wait, is
no,
that the soccer ball into the big
yeah,
hole?
we
Yeah,
don't we don't. That's not big over here at all.
and I'm so happy for you that it's not because what it did was it basically destroyed every single 9-hole golf course that was around.
Uh,
Where I used to live, there was probably 4 in the space of like 10 miles, like 9-hole courses, and every single one of them became a foot golf course. And they were big for like 5 years, and then they just dropped off a cliff. And now golf's had a resurgence, so hopefully they might move back into that
Convert
space.
them.
But
Yeah.
they've probably ruined the ground of which they were played on. So I mean, who knows? But so that's where I grew up. So I played a lot of golf from the age of like sort of 10 through to 15. Then sort of stopped for a while, played intermittently in my 20s, and then took it back up again about 3 years ago, fully, and went down from probably what was like an 18, 19 down to a sort of 13 now. So I'm hoping to play more golf this year, get that handicap down, break 80 a couple of times. That's my goal. And
How often have you broke 80?
not I've got 81 was my best last
81's
year.
your best.
Yeah. And I left thinking like everyone does. I left a few shots out there today. I
Any
ignored
hole in
the
ones?
no, I got an eagle. I got an I've had like 3 eagles, but no hole in
Three.
ones.
Okay.
No hole in ones, which which I'm quite glad for, to be honest, because I don't fancy paying the bar bill either. It's the craziest rule in golf that you you do something so incredible and then you have to foot the bill. It's just insane.
We just
it's a
had
funny,
one, man. We just
it's a
had one.
funny
You just had
story.
one.
Well, no, not
not
Rob,
us,
but
but
we had a buddy. We were playing in a tournament, and he was a high school friend of ours, and he's with us. We're playing in a scramble, and I think Fitz and I were talking. He goes up to the tee box, he hits, and he's like, "I think that was good." And I'm going somewhere with the story because it's hysterical. So we go up there. It's his first hole in one. He starts crying, just breaking down. Yeah, completely breaking down. Next thing I know, he's calling his mom. He's calling his dad. He's absolutely just beside himself of getting a hole in one. And luckily, we had to drive back, so he wasn't able to buy any drinks because we weren't staying there. But just to see that reaction of
That's amazing.
breaking down in tears, yeah, it was hysterical.
But then Dave, so just this last weekend, man, I was playing in a group, and we're in the group in front about to tee off, and we hear our buddy behind us erupt, and he ended up getting 1-2, par 3, 160 yards, hits it, rolls up to the left, disappears, goes in, and same kind of reaction like Scott was saying, different guy. He was super emotional, just like beside himself, man. But it was I didn't actually witness it go in. But just to be like in that group and the environment, man, it was incredible.
Oh man, I don't think I've ever even witnessed a hole in one. Thinking of it, I haven't even been there for one.
I witnessed Steve's first. So Scott and Steve have one. I don't. I was there when Steve got his first. It was crazy.
Oh, I don't even know how I'd react. I know, like if I chip in, I'm going crazy. Like I can't imagine.
Yeah.
You know,
maybe
I'm gonna cry.
Say, like if like we're playing a course where there's like water, in front of the green or something.
Yeah,
we're going in.
Someone's always saying someone's diving in that if someone gets a hole in one without.
Oh yeah, you got to. It would be wrong not to if it's there.
Lots of gators, but it's worth it.
Yeah,
you don't have to worry about that over here. You see?
No, you don't.
It might be a heron.
Big cliffs you got to worry about.
Yeah, exactly. So, guys, so obviously, like that. First of all, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming on the podcast. Thank you for showing an interest in the podcast. Thank you for sending out the marker locker for me to add to the bag as well. It's been a great addition, and I'm trying to fill it up slowly with markers.
Good point. Yep.
That's it. Yeah, and I'll try and keep hold of them as well. I'll make sure not to play Scott. That should be all right.
Hey, if we ever meet in person, just don't bring it.
Don't bring it.
Game on.
So, lastly, what's a good 2025 for you guys? If you were to look back on it, what would be a good 2025?
Yeah, I mean, I'll start. I think, as Fitz was mentioning, we have a very big opportunity for a big milestone of the vision we've had for the marker locker, and I think if we get this purchase order, expanding on our big box retail being in Golf Galaxies was a huge milestone for us last year.
Yeah.
And then dialing in, like we did a focus group, we did a survey, and really dialing in. I mean, it goes back to like your first production run in the first version. Think about an iPhone, right? iPhones were big, bulky, completely different than what they are today, right? So our we're going to call it our 3.0 versions because this will be our third version of enhancements, and really dialing it into what we've heard from our customers and being able to have that actually in our hand with the mini, as we've talked about, and then shrinking the existing one we have. I think once we have those in hand and we're able to sell those, I think those are like the 2025 goals that I can think of.
Yeah. And for you, Austen?
Yeah, I would definitely echo that and just continue to build on the momentum that we have with doing the customs and the limited that we've talked about. But we've to Scott's point, we did a focus group, we did a survey, so we've listened, we hear what our customers, our friends, our families, our users are saying, and so we're confident that this next version is going to be really dialed in. So success for us will be that 3.0 version this year, and us really like releasing that to the market and just kind of being validated in what, we know is going to be, our not final, because there's always revisions, but, our close to, kind of perfect product that we, have been working so hard to really get towards.
Oh, I love it. Well, I know that you guys are fully invested in this. I know you've got jobs that you work as well, and you're busy, and you've created this incredible brand. And I know that 2025 is going to be an amazing year for the Marker Locker. Can't wait to see what the 3.0 looks like. Can't wait to see all the collaborations and this mystery tournament, which I can't wait to see what it is, and within the next 3 months. And people should just go out there and grab a Marker Locker for themselves and join the community of which you guys have created. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for taking the leap in that way, because you've created a product which golfers really need.
Thanks, Dave. Yeah,
Dave, thank you.
We're going to ramp up the UK distribution. So, over in Europe, we're working with a distributor right now to get that moving. So for all your listeners over there, it's definitely something. Canada's, something else as well for us. And I'll just hit on this because you said brand, right? Like we've had this conversation about brand versus product, right?
Yeah.
You can perfect a product, right? It's very hard to perfect a brand because it's always evolving. So like, it's cool to hear you say brand versus product for us. That means a lot to us. So thank you.
Well, I think it's just more. It's more than the product. And the product is obviously fundamental to the brand, but I think, like I said, with you guys being at the forefront of it and being the face of it, that's what creates a brand. The people behind it, the passion behind it, is what drives it through, and that's what really comes through with the Marker Locker. So, congratulations, guys! It's incredible, and the progress has been unbelievable, and I can't wait to see what happens.
Appreciate you, Dave. Thank you so much.
Thank you both for coming on.
Thank you, man.